Now, today we invite a Russian teacher, Evgeny, so we can discuss several questions together. First, can you say hello in your language? Maybe you can type.
Sure.
Yes, type in the chat box how to say hello in Russian.
In Russian.
Yes.
So, привет. Привет. Привет.
Привет. Okay. Привет.
As in E. Green beans. Yeah, E as in green beans. Привет.
Привет, Evgeny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Привет.
Today we are going to talk about something about English learning, and later we will talk about Russian culture. To be honest, it's a little awkward for a Chinese and a Russian to emphasize the importance of English learning. Yes, but it is important indeed. Evgeny,
Yes.
can you order the 4 skills of English, reading, listening, speaking, writing, according to their importance?
I think all 4 skills are important, but if I need to choose one, I would choose. If I needed to choose, I would choose speaking, and then
yes.
I think listening, because they're both 2 skills that you need in order to communicate with another person. Yeah, you need to listen to another person. You need to say something, and then of course, I would say reading and writing.
For me, I think reading is the most important because it's a receptive skill. You can gain a lot of knowledge without talking with a stranger. And next is writing. You can organize your thoughts. You are well prepared. You can use evidence, examples to support your viewpoint. And the next, speaking, listening. Yes, nowadays, many Chinese video creator, they subtitled TED Talk and YouTube selection, so Chinese students can learn the good essence of foreign culture. I place speaking in the first place because nowadays people are busy. They have no time to talk with you.
Yeah.
So in China, we basically we use English to absorb foreign knowledge and not to output something. So I think it's my order. How about pronunciation? How do you view this skill? Does it matter? Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. I think if we differentiate pronunciation from accent doesn't matter. Pronunciation matters. Because if I make a mistake in pronunciation, I might say the person might not understand me. If the person doesn't understand what I'm saying, then the communication task isn't complete. That's the goal of communication, is to express yourself and ideas clearly. If you're not clear, if you say it, for example, a ship or a sheep, those are 2 different words, right?
Yes.
But if you just if you have an accent, it's fine. No one cares.
Yes. If I may add, pronunciation is also very important to your listening. If you can speak it, you can listen it. Yes, maybe English learner should spend some time on pronunciation. Okay, next question. Can you comment on different types of English teachers? We have 3 types. The first one is native speakers. For example, people from the United States, Britain, and so on. The second type is about local teachers. For example, for Russian, yes, Russians should learn English from Russian. Chinese should learn English from Chinese. And the third type teacher, foreign teachers, neither native speaker nor locals.
I also teach Russian online from time to time. It's not my major occupation, but I do it sometimes. And as a native speaker, I can say that I don't understand Russian as a non-native speaker. I don't know the difficulties. I don't understand the nuances of learning Russian as a non-native speaker. Although I have a good grasp, a good command of Russian, my Russian, I might not know the all pronunciation rules. I might not know all grammar rules. I do not know them. I just speak. I do not know the rules. I can't teach them. What I have to do, I have to learn my own language in order to teach it. So does it benefit? Is it an advantage that I can speak Russian, that I'm native English Russian speaker when I teach Russian? Kind of, yes, on one hand, but on the other hand, if I need to study a new language, I would start studying with the non-native teacher.
Yes.
Because they know how to start, they know the difficulties, they know how to compare the languages. This is also very important. You can compare it, especially at the very beginning. You need to compare like this structure with this structure. Oh, I know in Russian we say this, and that's why you might make this mistake, and don't make this mistake. In English, it's different. In Russian, you might want to say this, but don't say this. A lot of things that you need to know.
Yes.
And so local teachers are have a lot of advantages over native speakers, but it comes with a lot of problems, because local teachers might make mistakes. You might learn bad habits, wrong. You might learn, yeah, I can say wrong English. Yeah. And as for foreign teachers, I've never met foreign teachers here in Russia who taught English. But I believe it's same. You need to be a professional. You need to be a professional. You need to be qualified to do this job. That's my 2 cents.
Yes. For me, I think native speakers, they can provide authentic accent. When talking with native speakers, you gain confidence. Yes, you won't feel feared. And for local teachers, I think the biggest advantages of local teachers is, yes, they are bilingual. So learners can master one language very fast. And local teachers also understand memes. For example, when I teach Chinese students English, I can give good examples. For example, Naja, a famous animation character. So if I say Naja is popular, they will learn this character is known by many Chinese. Yes. And for example, if I want to say somebody is beautiful, I would say, hey, she is like Xi Shi. Yes, a beautiful lady in Chinese history. And one more example is about Cai Xukun, an idol. Yes, if I say Liu Kai is handsome as Cai Xukun, and many of my students will laugh. Yes. And for foreign teachers, I think you have a mysterious culture. People will be attracted to exotic appearance. when students are get bored of English drama, of course, English drama are good. For example, Black Mirror, Mind Your Language, Doctor Who, they are all very
Mm-hmm.
good. But when you talk with foreign teachers, they can give you some new perspectives. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
also come up with one more point. When you learn
Mm-hmm.
with native speakers, they can't understand your difficulties. They acquire the language
Yeah.
very
Mm-hmm.
naturally. For example, in
Yeah.
Russian, you guys have difficult conjugation and declension.
Educations. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for for
Yeah.
other students to learn Russian, it's extremely to learn unless you have some grammar book to study. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
practice intensively. Mm,
Mm-hmm. It's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
yes.
Uh, It's important when the languages you're learning are different. Your language, your native language, and the language you're learning are very different. Like Chinese, Russian, English. Yeah, very different
Mm,
languages. The grammar is different, pronunciation, vocabulary, even alphabet. Everything is different. It's very important. Yeah, I think local teachers have a lot of advantages when it comes to that. I think native teachers, native speakers have more advantages when they teach a language, like for example, Spanish teachers when they teach
mm,
an American, they
yes.
teach Spanish to an American. Well, the languages are pretty close.
Mm,
You can speak like 500 words. If you can speak English, you know 500 words in Spanish because they sound very close. Um,
mm,
it's easier. But when it's I think it's harder for a Chinese to learn English. So a
mm,
local teacher, I think, is your best pick.
yes. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, question three.
Mm-hmm.
Some Chinese are crazy about memorizing new words. They
Mm-hmm.
think the more vocabulary you know, the better your English is. How do you view
Mm-hmm.
this phenomenon? Do you have any suggestions?
I think perfection is uh, when there is nothing that extends, you know. What I'm trying to say is that everything must be balanced. Everything
Hmm.
must be balanced. Yeah, a good combination of skills is because, for example, children when they start speaking, they don't know a lot of words, but they still speak. If I am a native Russian speaker, go to a Russian factory, a chemical factory. Yeah, I will
Hmm.
not know a word around. I will just say things like this thing, this thing, this thing. I will not say a word, but I will be able to speak. On the other
Hmm.
hand, if I need to talk about like environment, I need to know some vocabulary. I need to know the words pollution, recycling, and so on. And I can't really get away without no get away without knowing them.
Hmm.
So I think
Yes, yes,
balance
balance is
skills. Mm.
important. If you are a programmer, you can focus only in programming English. Yes, it can save you
Hmm.
a lot of time. Do you have
Hmm.
any recommendation on how to memorize new words?
Mm. Well, I know people already know a lot of tips and tricks to how to memorize words. I would add that I always try to associate a word with something. If I learn a
Mm,
new word, I want to use this word immediately. I want to think of
mm,
this word, how I can use this word. If I learn a word, a pillow, I don't have a pillow, watermelon, I I will think like, I'll make a sentence. I want a watermelon. Or maybe I will make a sentence like, I hate watermelons. Something like that. Practical.
mm,
Use this word practically. Yeah.
yes. That makes
This is what I
sense.
think. Mm.
I also have a good recommendation. I see a book named Word Power Made Easy. It can introduce new
Mm.
words combined with context. Country is a people who is a concept where people share the same culture, language, lives together, or something like that. So if you can
Mhm.
um, yes, memorizing new words is not only about how to spell it, but also about how to apply it. Yes. Have you ever tested your vocabulary? How many words have you already mastered? Do you think there is a threshold to uh, uh, for example, just a person is good enough. They don't need to memorize new words on purpose. They can apply English, use English to learn something new.
Mhm. Well, I
300,
think I will never
3,006.
stop learning new words. I don't even know. I have no idea. I
Mm,
heard that a good writer
mm,
uses around 5,000 words um, or 6,000 words, something
mm,
around that. Like that's just so high level if you write a book and use a lot of words. And I think, well, way less. I don't know a lot of words when it comes to something that is very, very practical, like um, a trench when a road and a road goes, a slope, and then a drain where water floats away a little. Um, do you know this word? I didn't know this word. I just read it the other day. So, as an English teacher, I know a lot of words that you need to use in online conversations, but when it
mm,
comes to practical things, like uh, the thing that you attach to the roof so that water can flow down. Yeah,
mm.
those things. I don't know, thousand words.
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure though.
If I can give a number, I think 6,000 is a good standard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because for me,
Interesting.
when
Mm-hmm.
I reach that limit, I can
Mm-hmm.
understand and use English to learn something new. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, I only know its Chinese meaning. If you ask me to write a good essay using that
Mm-hmm.
words, I can't do it. No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one. Do you think it's a bad sign to use other to come up with a new name in foreign language? For example, some people in China think it's the sign of losing confidence. People use new name because they are ashamed about their original culture. How do you view this
Mm-hmm.
viewpoint?
Um, I don't have anything against people who come up with a new name. You can call yourself or ask me to call you whatever you want me
Mm,
to call you. So I don't mind, and I will not never blame anyone on doing that. I do not recommend that. I think, especially um, speaking of Chinese learners, they need
mm,
to be proud and they need to say their names. Just say them slowly, please.
mm.
Just if they say them slowly, I
Yes,
think
yes.
everybody can repeat that. But Chinese people they love to say their names very fast, very
Mm,
fast, just to
mm,
see confused your facial expression. They're confused like, huh? They love
mm,
it. But when I actually repeat their name, they're like, ooh. But
mm.
it's
Yes.
hard to remember the name though. It's hard to remember, and you might come misunderstandings when the teacher can't remember your name. I understand why people the foreign name, because yeah, you don't want to see this confused face, like the teacher who doesn't remember your name. Or you don't want to feel it sometimes, or you don't want your name to be mispronounced sometimes, right? You don't want your name to be mispronounced, and it's so easy to mispronounce a name in Chinese because the tones, different tones, change
Yes.
the meaning. So there are pros and cons. Yeah.
Yes. For me, I think I am lucky. Liu Kai. Yes, it's easy to memorize and
You,
pronounce
yeah.
it. But in some
Mm-hmm.
cases, the Chinese name can have different annotation or meaning in other
Mm-hmm.
cultures. For example, if a
Mm,
Chinese girl's name is Shiting, it means poetry. Yes, in Chinese,
mm,
but in English, it sounds like shitting, shit. So it's
shit, yeah.
it
Well,
hurts a lot if foreigners say this word. Another
yeah,
example is
poor
hui.
girls.
In Chinese, it means smart, but in Russian, it can mean something really bad. You better
Yeah,
check
yeah,
the
that's right.
meaning. Yes, you better check on the
Male
internet.
organ,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Before
Hmm.
you decide, well, what you are going to let others to call you. Mm,
Hmm.
okay, good. Next questions. Do you have any recommendation on dictionaries? Do you think dictionaries will influence
Mm.
English learners?
Yeah, I think AI
AI, yes.
are taking over
Mm,
this world. I think dictionaries will cease to exist at some point in the future, because AI does not only provide you with the translation, but it also you can ask, you can give it the context. You can ask it like,
mm,
I found this word in this book. It says this and this, and I don't understand what this means. And it will actually understand, because one word can have a lot of meaning. If you write down get and look up for translations, you will find 100 translations, right?
mm,
Uh, and you might make a mistake because of that. You might think that this word means this thing, but it actually means a different thing. Or
mm,
you might think that, okay, this word translates as this word, so I can use this in this context, but it's not true. You might only be able to use this word in only this context and not anything
mm,
else, right?
mm.
You never know, but AI can give you that
Yes.
information.
Yes, yes. It's much more convenient to refer to electric devices, for example, AI or yes, e-dictionaries. But for us, sometimes our AI DeepSeek, it always shows the server is busy. We have to use some dictionaries. I think I use one dictionary named UDic Dictionary. It uh, integrates different
Hmm.
dictionaries, for example, Collins, Oxford, Macmillan, and our own Chinese English dictionaries,
Hmm.
Wikipedia, something like
Hmm.
that. You can see the difference between different sources. That's very interesting.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
people, for beginners, they can use Chinese or yes, your native language's dictionaries.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
uh, for the intermediate learners, they can use Chinese English bilingual dictionaries. For advanced English learners, you can use English only dictionaries. I think you can
Yeah,
upgrade the
that's true.
difficulties gradually. That can help your
Yeah.
understanding very much. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Next question. Should a country place English at a very high position? For example, like the official language. How do you view it?
Official language.
Yes.
I don't think that it really depends on the history of the country. Yeah, there are a lot of countries that have a lot of people with different origins live together. I don't remember Belgium. In some other countries, they have 3 or 4 official languages. Let's take India. Yeah, they speak several languages there. I think they have a lot of languages. People speak a lot of languages. They need one lingua franca. They need one language that everybody can speak. So
Yes.
no one, no one is suppressed. No one is offended. So you might want to take just a foreign language. Okay, let's speak this language so no one is offended. Yeah, we will use this language. A lot of people know this language and no one is offended. But language and just say, now English is our official language. It doesn't make sense.
Yes. I would say some countries like South Korea, Japan, Germany, France, they all value their own language very much. Language is more like a kind
Yeah.
of cultural recognition, cultural identity. You can see their economies, they are pretty good. Yes, so it's good to use your own language, but it's okay to use English as your official
Yeah.
language as well. I would say it depends. Yes, it depends. Okay, next question. The mirror version. Should a country place English at a very low position, like only a tiny portion of people learn it? Because some people say the globalization has already ended. It's better to focus on one country's own culture instead of English. How do you view this viewpoint?
I think a country because it will keep people from learning. And this, no matter how much information you have in your language, there's always more if you can speak English. It's like the whole world, the world community, the scientific communities, or whatever, how many communities are that there, they speak English. Medical communities, a lot of medical researches, policies, regulations that come out, they come out in English, right? And sometimes you can't wait until someone translates it. Yes, there are online translations, but you can't, for example, take part at a global conference if you don't speak English. You cannot represent your country if you don't speak English. If you're assigned, your best people of your country can't speak English. So I think everybody needs to be able to speak English at some level.
Yes, yes, indeed. Because the first, the second, and third industrial revolutions all happened in English-speaking countries. For example, if you learn how to program, most programming languages are written in English. You have to read the documentation, yes, to be a good programmer, communicate with other fellow co-workers. Yes. I also want to mention South Korea. I learned about that they learn 2 foreign languages. Yes. So maybe that's the reason why they are very open-minded. Their economy ranks 12th in the global GDP rank. It's very impressive. Next,
Mm-hmm.
um, how to learn English well. Do you have any suggestion? It's a very
How
broad
to learn
question.
English?
Yeah, broad question. Can you give some general
Mm-hmm.
idea?
Mm-hmm. I think if yeah, it's a broad question because I immediately uh, think about the age and uh, the student's occupation
For
to say
for
what
college students, yes, for college students,
mm,
adult learners, how to master
hmm.
English well.
I think do what they like. It's important.
Mm,
Watching cartoons in English.
mm,
Watch them and learn from them. If you like music, listen to music and translate the music.
mm,
If you like literature, try reading English books. If you do something you like, I have a very good idea, suggestion. So make it a habit. What I do, I made a habit. I made a good habit. Every day, 5 words. Five
mm,
words every day.
yes.
If I had a bad day or a good day, I need to learn 5 days every day. Or maybe I need to have a class, turn it into routine. That's the best way. A routine, something you like, reads a little bit every day. Even if you read just one sentence, fine. Let it be
Mm,
one sentence, but every day.
mm.
And I think it's the best way to improve.
Yes, I second that. Frequency is a key. If you don't use
Hmm.
it, you lose it. Next
Hmm.
question. How do you view group lesson and the one-on-one lesson? Can you say the advantages of each one? Group lesson and the one-on-one lesson.
Hmm. Hmm. Think group lessons are great for young learners,
Mm,
and it really depends on the teacher and the way the lessons are structured.
mm,
Um, if a good professional qualified teacher can teach large classes, 50 students, 100 students, if
mm,
he or she manages to pay attention to everybody, it's a difficult job, but it's possible, right?
mm,
Um, One-on-one lessons are also good. Of course, you have 100% of your of teacher's attention,
mm,
but it's more expensive. I
mm,
think everyone would prefer one-on-one lessons, right? If they
mm.
could afford it.
Yes, yes.
But sometimes you can't, and I think it's not a problem. I I learned English through group classes when I was
Mm,
young.
mm.
Yeah, I took group classes and it was fine.
I think they have their respective advantages. For group lessons, young learners can learn how to interact with each other. They may learn some social code, for example, taking turns to speak, respect others, and comment on their peers' viewpoints.
Mm,
For one-on-one lessons, it's good
mm,
for learners to build up confidence. It's more suitable for shy learners, and teachers can also customize the learning content materials according to the learner's
mhm,
requirements. Yes, as both modes are good. Yes. And the next question,
mhm, mhm.
why can't Chinese people speak good English? Or you can answer, why can't Russian people speak good English?
Why Russians can't speak English? Well, is that because uh, plain and simple. If you want to practice, you need to be somehow involved into the Western international community.
Hmm.
Either online games, Even if we take a random, just an average Russian teenager,
Mm,
he or she can much better than their parents because
mm,
they play games online. They're
mm,
involved. They are exposed to English.
mm,
They know how to do it better than anyone else. But other than that, there are not a lot of communications between Russians and foreigners.
mm,
Russian people don't travel much abroad. Russian people don't need to. They have a lot of content. They have books. They have educational systems in Russian. So there is no need to speak Russian. So they don't speak Russian. If there was a need, they would be able to speak English well.
yes.
But
Yes, I agree with
mhm,
that because in China we can do everything in Chinese, so we don't need to learn
yeah.
English very well. Okay, next one. Do you have anything to add
Mm.
about English learning? Thing you want to say about English learning? If you don't, we can move on to the Russian culture part.
Yeah, just go and learn. Yeah, it's a great hobby, and it can uh, bring you some money to live.
Mm,
That's all I wanted to say about learning English.
yes, yes, good. Okay,
Hmm.
it's time to introduce Russian culture. Do you have any
Hmm.
recommendation? Sorry, I want to speak first. um,
Sure thing. Mhm.
when I learned Russian during college, I watched some Russian drama. For example, Gakya style Aluskin. How do I become a Russian? It's a comedy, which is very funny. It
Hmm.
introduced a lot of Russian costumes. For example, people need to send even number, better seven. It's lucky number in Russian, but in Chinese, we think good things should appear in pairs, except for number four. So I think if people
Hmm.
can learn about each other's customs, learn about each other's culture, they can decrease misunderstanding. It's very beneficial for both sides. After watching that TV drama, I think Russian people are basically willing to be friendly to anybody as long as people respect local rules. They will be fine. Russian people are friendly to both American and Chinese.
You need to respect other traditions. Well, you need to learn them first to know
Mm,
them. So Russia is very big, right?
mm,
It's huge, and the main ethnicity is Russian, of course, but there are other ethnicities who live here in our
mm,
country.
mm,
It's a very large country with very different traditions, and it really depends on the region where you live in. So I was born in Caucasus region, um, and if you compare a life in Moscow and a life in Caucasus, it will be two different lives. Two different lives.
mm,
We do speak the same language and we share some of the customs and traditions, but
mm,
overall, well, pretty different. It's pretty different.
mm.
Is there anything in specific you would like to know?
Mm. How about you recommend some Russian literature because many people are interested in
Ooh.
it. For example, when I was a student, we learned it from Chinese textbook, something about Pushkin. Если жизнь тебя
Mm-hmm.
обманет, if by life you were deceived.
Mm-hmm.
We joke if you are
Mm-hmm.
deceived by the life, uh, don't be frustrated. You will be cheated over and over again until you get used to it.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's right. That's right. Uh, literature. Literature. Something I would suggest reading to a non-native speaker. I think, well, crime and punishment, number one.
Can you type
Very deep
the name
masterpiece.
type the name in the chat box so I can translate it later.
Crime and punishment in both languages. Преступление и наказание. I think it's pretty famous all around the world.
Yes, yes. Interesting. Okay. What's the story it talks about? Can you introduce it a little bit?
The idea that a person, I don't remember his job, arrives to a city and he doesn't have a lot of money. He rents a room in the house, but he doesn't have money. He's poor. And the landlord, the owner of the apartment, is an old lady. She's really grumpy. She's bad. She's like evil. He walks to a bar nearby, and people say that, oh, she's so bad. She's so bad. And he has thoughts like, do I have the right to commit a crime in order to help society, or I don't? So those thoughts on committing a crime and why is it legal, and the train of thoughts that he has after committing the crime, the feelings that he has, that's very interesting to follow.
Sounds interesting. It's time to say thank you. Can you teach our audience how to say thank you in Russian and type it in the chat box?
Of course. So, Spasiba. Spasiba. The spelling is O, but the pronunciation is Spasiba.
Yes.
Spasiba. Yes.
Okay.
Again, E as in green beans. So, Spasiba.
Spasiba. Okay, together everyone, let's say Spasiba to teacher Evgeny. Thank you for your
I hope I
interview.
provide you with something.
Yes, thank you for your patience today. I think everyone can go to italki and find teacher Evgeny can teach you more about Russian and English. Okay, today's program is over.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.